In the vast Marvel universe, fans often dream of matchups between characters who represent two completely different aspects of power. On one side, we have Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, a master of chaos magic and a wielder of reality-warping abilities that shake the very foundation of existence. On the other side, there is Void Sentry, the darker, uncontrollable side of Robert Reynolds, who embodies the destructive essence of limitless power. The question is simple, yet incredibly complex. If these two Marvel titans faced each other, who would win, and who is truly more powerful? To answer this, we must explore their origins, their powers, their feats, and their weaknesses. Both Scarlet Witch and Sentry are considered plot-level characters, which means their victories and defeats often depend on the narrative choices of the writers. However, by comparing their abilities as shown in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and in comics, as well as analyzing their greatest feats, we can draw a balanced conclusion. This battle is not just about brute strength or magical spells, it is about the clash of raw chaos against the living embodiment of light and darkness. To fully appreciate this matchup, let us break it down step by step. The chaos magic of Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch, also known as Wanda Maximoff, is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. She began her journey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with abilities described as telekinesis, mental manipulation, and energy projection. Over time, her powers grew immensely, revealing their true nature, chaos magic. Her connection to the mystical forces of the multiverse allowed her to rewrite reality itself. Her most notable feats prove just how terrifyingly powerful she is. She nearly defeated Thanos single-handedly in Avengers: Endgame, forcing him to rain fire upon his own army just to survive her wrath. She warped the town of Westview into a pocket reality in WandaVision, bending the will of thousands of people and even creating children with actual superpowers. She destroyed the Darkhold in every universe simultaneously, an act that demonstrates her multiversal reach. And in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, she dreamwalked through the multiverse, destroyed Kamartaj, and completely eradicated the Illuminati of Earth-838, including heroes like Professor X, Reed Richards, and Captain Marvel. Her powers scale to a universal level, especially under the influence of the Darkhold. She can erase objects, bend minds, and twist the rules of reality with a single thought. However, she does have weaknesses. Wanda is often emotionally unstable. Her powers spike when she is consumed by grief or rage, but this same instability can leave her vulnerable. She is sometimes described as a glass cannon, immense destructive potential but not always the durability to withstand overwhelming physical attacks. Still, Scarlet Witch's reality-warping chaos magic makes her one of the deadliest characters in Marvel history. Against almost anyone else, her victory would be certain. But against Void Sentry, things become far more complicated. The limitless power of Void Sentry? Robert Reynolds, better known as the Sentry, is a character who embodies near-limitless strength, speed, and durability. But hidden within him is the Void, a dark counterpart that represents all of his worst impulses and fears. The Void is not merely a split personality, it is a destructive cosmic entity that thrives on chaos, fear, and annihilation. When the Void emerges, even gods and cosmic forces tremble. The Sentry has often been described as possessing the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns in the comics. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe debut, his description was toned down to the power of 1,000 suns, but even this downgrade makes him nearly unstoppable. His feats include breaking adamantium-level defenses, surviving instant disintegration, and reforming his body after being torn apart. He has super speed, strength, flight, energy projection, telekinesis, molecular manipulation, and most terrifyingly, the ability to warp reality in his own way. The Void enhances all of these abilities and adds a psychological layer of terror. He can drag people into realms of pure despair, sometimes called shame dimensions, and bend reality to his twisted imagination. Unlike Wanda, who requires chaos magic to warp reality, Sentry and the Void can simply will things into existence. His powers are limited only by his fractured psyche, not by any external force. However, his weakness is just as important as his strength. Sentry is mentally unstable, and the Void often seizes control at the worst possible times. His battles are not just against opponents but against himself. Still, in terms of sheer durability and raw power, Sentry surpasses most heroes and villains. Against Scarlet Witch, this makes him an unpredictable but formidable adversary. The clash of reality versus suns? If Scarlet Witch and Void Sentry were to clash, the battle would be unlike anything the Marvel Universe has ever seen. Wanda would begin by bending reality to her advantage, creating illusions, warping the battlefield, and attempting to restrain Sentry with chaos magic. Her mind control could potentially turn his fractured psyche against himself, exploiting his weakness. On the other hand, Void Sentry's speed and raw strength are unmatched. He could blitz Wanda before she even has time to react if we assume his full potential is unleashed. His durability means that most of her direct energy attacks would bounce off or do little damage. Unlike Thanos, who could be overpowered, Sentry could withstand Wanda's raw force. Yet Wanda's greatest strength lies in her ability to erase or rewrite existence itself. If she focused her chaos magic, she could potentially erase the Void entirely. But the question remains, can she act fast enough before Void Sentry tears her apart? The battle becomes even more unpredictable when considering narrative scaling. WandaVision-level Wanda may not have the destructive output to stop Void Sentry, but Multiverse of Madness Wanda, empowered by the Darkhold and at her peak, could very well overwhelm him with sheer reality manipulation. Comics comparisons complicate this even more, since both characters are reality warpers in different ways. This fight is less about who hits harder and more about who bends the rules of reality faster. Scarlet Witch represents chaos and mystical rewriting, while Void Sentry represents raw, unstoppable force powered by cosmic will. Final result: who would win? So, who would win the ultimate battle between Scarlet Witch and Void Sentry? The answer depends on the version of each character we are considering. If we are talking about WandaVision's Scarlet Witch, she does not yet have the scale to stop Void Sentry. In that scenario, Sentry's superior speed, strength, and Void's terrifying reality-warping powers would overwhelm her. She would be outmatched by his raw durability and blitzing ability. However, if we consider Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch, the outcome shifts dramatically. This version of Wanda is confirmed to have universal-level potential. She destroyed the Darkhold across every universe and effortlessly annihilated some of the most powerful superheroes in existence. Against this version, Void Sentry would find himself at a serious disadvantage. Her chaos magic could erase him before he lands a decisive blow. In the comics, both characters are essentially plot-driven powerhouses. Whoever the story demands will usually win, since both have limitless potential when pushed to the extreme. But strictly speaking, Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch has displayed feats that edge out even the wildest interpretations of MCU Sentry so far. Therefore, the final verdict is clear: Void Sentry could defeat WandaVision's Scarlet Witch, but Multiverse of Madness Scarlet Witch would overpower Void Sentry. In the ultimate clash of chaos and suns, Wanda Maximoff stands as the victor, though the devastation left behind would be unimaginable. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.